Werner Tobin here, RealAgriculture.com here at SoilSmart, and joined by Jeff Rasawehr, a farmer from Ohio. And Jeff, you just finished presenting, you know, we're talking about soil health here today. And tell us about your philosophy and the importance of, you know, soil biology. That's your key.
Yeah. Years ago, I'd started down the path of cover cropping, and I was doing it for the roots, for the organic material, for the erosion. After meeting with Ray Archuleta, I came to realize it's all about the microbiology. And what I've done is I've come to realize that it can't be reestablished without a systems approach. So what I use on my farms is a systems approach. It's a 6-part step that I believe are integral to make this work. And that's what I found. If I put them all in place, it's a much profitable situation. I'm fortunate my background from college is actually economics. So for me, it is a more profitable situation, and I do care about the environment, but it does come down to the numbers.
Yeah. And just let's talk a little bit about numbers. You had some numbers from Farm Journal on the average price of you know farming corn and soybeans, and you know you had corn at around $636 an acre.
Right.
You got your costs at $346 an acre.
Right.
And you got soybeans at $434 average cost, and you're at $167 and dropping. Tell us a little bit about your system and what goes into those numbers.
Well, what we do is we try to make it work. Not try. We make it work by utilizing the microbiology. Once you have microbiology, your nutrients will come up, you'll be able to mitigate your weeds, you'll be able to mitigate your disease pressures. And what I did was I cross-referenced expenses, like say Farm Journal said the average farm in the U.S. is going to spend X for corn. I looked at what I plan to spend. I went through what I was spending and what they showed as a cross-comparison. That's how I came up with those numbers, and it's really exciting. Not only do you have considerably less cost, the yield is still there.
Yeah. Awesome. Now let's talk about some, I guess, your key tenants that sort of drive your philosophy, and we'll run down through those. You started off with always keep it green. Yeah,
what I do on my farm, not only do I cover crop in the fall, I also will enhance in the spring if I need to stimulate the microbiology. I'm even accentuating the microbiology in the summer now. I am taking in the summer at leaf stage 6, adding a little bit of annual rye. The exudation off annual rye is a superfood for the microbiology. It actually improves nutrient uptake and improves yields. I throw a little dwarf Essex rape in for some sulfur, improves the sulfur uptake. So what we're doing is we're sustaining and maintaining in the fall, we're stimulating the microbiology in the spring, and the summer we're accentuating that microbiology.
So Jeff, let's talk about the second point you made there, and that was mitigating toxicity. You, when it comes to you, no anhydrous.
Yeah, what I don't like to do is anything like anhydrous ammonia does kill worms. It does damage some of the microbiology. Whether it's anhydrous ammonia, some of the fungicides I don't need to use, or other toxins. I always look at any input that I'm going to pay for, and I ask what's its effect on the big picture. And if in the big picture it's going to hurt my microbiology, I'm very, very careful to probably decide not to do it.
And another one, use appropriate soil amendments.
What happens, there's some of the soil amendments, we've got plenty of phosphorus. Actually, most farms are losing more phosphorus out the tile lines than they can even take it off in a hopper wagon or in a grain truck. So what I would suggest is, let's look at what actually makes the difference. What does the soil actually deficient on? Soil's not short on phosphorus. It's not really even short on potash, and can be made not to be short on nitrogen. Does need some lime, may need some gypsum, and those are viable soil amendments that can make a difference.
And you spend a lot of time about the fact that, you know, your message is never till. Never tear that roof off the house.
No, you never want to till. I made the mistake of doing a little tillage this year. It cost me 47 bushel the acre. Problem was we took some big rains. I didn't have a protection for my microbiology. I today now have no tillage tools left. Nothing.
You also mentioned using viable biological enhancements, and that, you know, respecting the biology.
Respect the biology. There are some biologicals that work. I would be, if I was a producer, very apt to look at some of the soybean biologicals. There's some to look at. Some of the wheat biologicals. The corn, I'm not as, have not had the success with yet I'd like to have. I'm hopeful I'll find what I want. Have not yet. But on the side of the wheat and the soybean inoculants, there's some good stuff out there.
And one of your, I guess the big point you spent a lot of time on was a misstep is not a step backwards, it's a quantum leap.
Yeah, and that's the problem. We have farmers that keep talking about the myriad of success and or failures that are existing. And I seen a farmer, as I shared with my guest, where he did not cover crop this fall. Well, he's going to come back 3 to 4 years from now and look at where his results are at. If he does pick up with cover cropping, what he's missing is that microbiology is going to cannibalize itself in the 6-month period. There's nothing to eat. So when there's nothing to eat coming from the roots of a plant, they're going to cannibalize, and that's going to damage the balance of the microbiology.
And that breaks your system.
It breaks the system. It breaks it right there.
And for you, the last point is, you said you have an economics background. You're not necessarily started with a farming background, and it's $200 an acre and a better life for you.
Yeah, it's great. I've got a wonderful wife and 7 children who I adore. By not tilling and not spending all the time and money on the chemical paradigm, I can enjoy my family. The costs have dropped. $200 an acre is actually low. The big thing looking at me is I really don't have a chemical background for the chemical ag side. I really don't know much. I do know the dollars and cents and the economics of it, and this is a very profitable system.
Awesome. Hey, well, thanks for sharing it with us today, and hope to see you back in Ontario before long.
Hey, I'll come back to Canada anytime.
Good stuff.
Thanks. I got my A in.
Good stuff.